Hi and welcome. My name's Fran. I've been travelling for many moons, about 22 or something like that. Anyway, I started out in a little bus with a gas heater and catalytic heater, and yes, everybody now screams how dangerous they are, but honestly back then there weren't that many different choices. And yeah, and the only problem with it really was the amount of condensation it gave out. um, but yeah, I did learn a few tips on how to stay happy in winter. Like now I'm actually pretty lucky. I've got a log burner and a diesel heater, and this truck has wooden windows, so they don't tend to get condensation as much. It's a dry space in here, it really is. It's so dry, sometimes I think it's a bit too dry and I put a pot of water on the fire. So yeah, but I do know what it was like when I did live in a more damp environment. No, it's not the most healthy thing. So there's a few ways to make that easier. One of the first things I did when I bought my first bus, Ajana was her name, was I bought some wet weather gear. I already had gumboots, but I needed I already had leggings and stuff, but it was in a heck of a state from clearing scrub and stuff, which is what I was doing before I sold my property. So I needed something that looked a bit more presentable. So I bought some good wet weather gear. I actually still have the leggings now. I did have to replace the raincoat because I wear that more often. But honestly, it's a lifesaver when you're stuck inside for 3 or 4 days in a small space. Being able to get outside, go for a good walk, jump in some puddles, and come back and hang your wet weather gear in the shower without having a bunch of wet clothes that you've got to figure out how to dry out is priceless, and it's really awesome. There's a really noisy boat out there, so excuse the sound, but yeah, he's having fun. So anyway, wet weather gear was my it really saved my sanity. Leggings, so you don't end up with wet trousers because then you have to dry them and all of that sort of jazz. And here it's not a problem. I actually have a drying rack up there, not above the fire, sort of off to the side, so things can't fall on the fire. And yeah, I can dry things out, but in my bus it wasn't that easy. So yeah, that was probably my biggest lifesaver. The other thing I did was I cut out camping mats that you put under, when you're camping, those foam ones. Yoga mats they have now, same thing. And put them against the windows around my bed, because otherwise you've got cold pooling off the windows. And then pull the curtains over the top. I had thermal curtains, but honestly, these camping mats made so much difference at night. It was just primo. And yeah, I've heard that bubble wrap works, but I think these camping mats, I did try bubble wrap, but it just kept falling off and stuff and didn't work that well. So the camping mats were brilliant, and I just used to roll them up and shove them under one of the seats in the daytime or in summer, and it did keep it much warmer in there. Yeah, so those are two key points I find about staying sane in winter. The other one is power, electricity. We all need that, and most of us now have solar, which I didn't have at all on my bus. I didn't have any solar at all. I just had a big battery, and I had to drive to charge it or plug in and yeah, charge it on a battery charger. But now with solar in winter we have less solar, so managing that appropriately is important. I did actually make a video about batteries and how to keep them healthy, so I'll have a look for that and link it somewhere here if you're interested in that. But the key is not to run them down too low, because otherwise your batteries won't last. They don't like that unless you've got lithium which can handle a bit more of that. But yeah, your average house batteries, AGMs and all of that, don't actually like it. So try and keep them in the upper sort of, I don't like to run mine down below sort of 70%. I try to keep them up above that, honestly. And to keep myself working, because I spend about 7 hours a day on my laptop, which uses a lot of power. So if we get a lot of really gloomy days, I start running out, even though I've got quite a lot of solar on the roof. So I had to buy another generator because mine was I'm not a huge generator user, but my little Honda has possibly terminal issues, which, you know, I've had it for probably about 18 years, so it can happen. So I ordered one, and the guy, who was absolutely awesome, he's got a Trade Me store called Chainsaws Direct. He delivered it out here, he brought it out, and luckily it's got wheels because it's friggin' big. It's a 2000 watt one as opposed to a 1000 watt one. I didn't see much point in trying to hunt down another small one, and it's not a Honda, so it's cheaper than a Honda, but the brand is from a Canadian company, so I'm kind of hoping it's going to be okay. So I'll give it a test run tonight and make it run my espresso machine and see how that goes. But yeah, it's quite big. I'm like, oh god, where am I going to put that? And the little Honda, I'm going to hang on to that for now, because who knows, somebody might be able to fix it. The engine is still wonderful in it, it just doesn't produce power anymore. And unfortunately, with winter coming, if I get a day or two that's really dark and gloomy, I'll run out of power. I hammer my batteries and run out of power because my it's a gaming laptop I use for editing videos and photos and stuff. So yeah, so I had to get something to give me a backup over winter. If it had happened in summer, I would have probably fluffed around and shopped around a bit more about getting the Honda repaired, because it's been a cool little genie. I mean, it started first pop every day of its life, and I'm not a heavy generator user, so it hasn't had that much use, so might get it fixed. But anyway, I have power again. I've also got plenty of sunshine today, so I don't really need to use it, but I want to give it a test run. It's also got an electric start off a little tiny battery, which is kind of interesting, and luckily it's got wheels because it's friggin' heavy. It didn't look as big in the picture, but the nice guy was lovely enough. He's from Hamilton, and he drove all the way out here to deliver it, so that was super nice. So he's going to get a pretty awesome review from me on Trade Me. It's been another couple of days again, as it always ends up with these videos. I've actually got my camera out because I'm doing my picker card reading for the week for my other channel, and I just wanted to say good morning and continue on my theme of winter. Tips to get the most out of winter is something I'm going to do today if the weather stays okay. Mind you, I suppose it doesn't matter if the weather's not okay, as I want to clean my solar panels. They just work much better when they're clean, and I haven't done it for a while because we've been getting rain and whatnot. But I also have a chimney up there, so that big panel tends to get a bit dirty sometimes, and they do get dust and muck on them. And you're going to get much more solar if your panels are clean. So I like to get up there, give them a good clean. I just use window cleaner generally, a rag and some glass cleaner, and give them a good wipe down, and yeah, they tend to work a lot better. It was quite an exciting day yesterday. I I went to go to town. I did all my work early so I could get into town and get a park in this thing. And the truck wouldn't go. It was like, nah, nothing. So then I got my multimeter out and it wouldn't work. So it was like, oh crap. So I put the generator on just in case it was a flat battery, started charging that, and then thought, well, I still don't know if it's the battery or not. So I ran down the hill and saw Harry and said, can I borrow a multimeter? And he said, oh look, I'll come up. So he came up and the batteries were fine. And I was like, oh no, not the starter motor again. It was only just over a year ago that I last had that out. And it was friggin' heavy. You have to lie under it and try and line it up and not drop it on your head. And it's just not fun. And I was like, oh no. But no, it was this little tiny wire that's attached to the side of the starter motor that I've had problems with before with the little connector. But when the starter motor was out, I fixed that. I put a different connector on it that I thought was going to be fine. And when we went to measure the power going to that little connector thingy, I jiggled it around a bit to get the probe on it. And boom, the truck started. So today's mission is to crawl around under the truck, take that off, give it a really good clean. It's winter, it's been very damp here. Yeah, it's probably got a bit of muck and moisture in it. It just seems to be a weird dicky little connection. So that's been the fun stuff since yesterday. I have bought myself another multimeter, which I actually set up incorrectly because it's got more ports than my old one. But thanks to Facebook and dear friends, it got sorted out. Now it works. I was going to take it back because it didn't work. So anyway, that's been fun. So today, yeah, no, it's just maintenance day. Do a few little jobs and things like that. Miss Pussycat's doing well. She's gone outside because she hates it when I do the camera thing now. She used to like it, and now she's just like, go away with that thing. I don't like it. In this video, I've sort of pointed out a few things I do that help in winter. I think another part of winter is that it gets dark so early. I find, like, I look at the clock and think it's bedtime and it's 6:30. I don't know. Comment below if you have that experience in winter. It's like, oh, is that all? I can't go to bed yet. I'll be awake at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know. It's probably why I watch YouTube in the evenings. But yeah, I think the evenings for me, before I don't watch TV. I've got a wind-up aerial and stuff like that, but I never use it. And that I've got a decoder that's broken. Really, it works, but it's so I generally just watch a bit of YouTube for an hour at night, and that's me. TV just doesn't interest me. I think last winter I wound the aerial up and got it going and watched it for half an hour and thought, nah, this is just stupid, and turned it off. But yeah, do comment down below, what do you do in the evenings? Like, I watch a bit of YouTube, pet the cat and read a book, or mess around on social media. I have to admit, I spend quite a bit of time mucking around on social media. Hi and welcome back. It's been an interesting week. It's been a bit of one of those evolving projects. My truck had issues starting, so I thought it was that little wire on the side of the starter, so I fuddled around with that. It started, and then I went to start it again to go to town, and nope. So I fuddled around a bit more with that wire, and the earth strap had actually come loose. So I thought, okay, it might be that. Nope. But in the end, I put the multimeter on it, and when I turned turned the key, the voltage dropped to 3.6, which is very low, so my battery was buggered. So I shot in day before yesterday. Harry and Lorraine lent me their little car, picked up another battery, chucked it in, fuddled around with it a lot. Actually, I've about that much headroom over my battery, and the new posts on the battery were bigger than the original ones, so trying to open up terminals in this little tiny space was actually, it took me about an hour. So it wasn't just chucked it in, but yeah. Anyway, truck starts again, so I'm excited. Hopefully I'll be able to, now fingers crossed, I'm getting a bit like wary of saying these things, but I'll be able to go to the vintage thing down the line. And I've also got a photography, videography job down in that area, so I've got to go down there anyway to do that, which is super exciting. I'm looking forward to doing that. So anyway, I just wanted to update you. Hopefully I'll get this edited today. It's a rubbish day. It's raining. It's meant to rain all day. So I think I'm going to kick the generator into life and sit at my computer and edit videos for a while, because, yeah, I'm not getting enough solar to run my laptop in editing mode. The software I use for editing, Premiere Pro, it's really resource hungry, so my laptop's like really working and sucks quite a bit of power actually. So it's a generator kind of day. So anyway, Miss Muffet is lying over there doing some sort of cat yoga. Cat yoga by Miss Muffet. It's very nice, isn't it? She's been eating well, which has been awesome. I've been very happy with her progress. Oh, she groans a lot, but that's because she's just old and groany and grumpy. So anyway, just a quick update. Are we recording? We are. I've just been working my way through this pile of files on my phone. The genie's going, so sorry about that noise. But I'd forgotten to do a closing. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching my video. Drop any hints and tips you have for other people about being on the road in winter and staying warm and cozy in the comments below. Other people will probably appreciate that. I want to wish you lots of love. Stay warm out there, and see you all next time.